Yeah, finally we start a what? The start a. Come here. Yeah. 야, 잘린다. Okay. Start. Okay. Yeah.
We're going.
야야야, 너 이쪽 얼굴 이쪽으로 더 와. Okay. Okay. 여민쪽. Okay. 자, everybody start. It's a what is a jeep tour, right?
Yeah, it's a jeep tour. And I don't know where we're going, but it's supposed to be 5 hours. But either way, I'm really excited. I'm a little terrified, but I'm really excited.
Yamin, where is Yamin? Yeah. Yeah, say something.
I'm excited.
Oh my. Okay. I'm excited, and this is gonna be a really beautiful day, and it's a beautiful city. And let me show you other way. 근데 까먹었다 어떻게 하는지. Okay. Anyway, we start. 와, 이거 지금 트럭 뒤에서 이렇게 타서 튜어를 하는데 totally different. 이게 이 상당히 야 이거 지금 상당히 와 이거 지금 뒤에서 타서 움직여 보는 건 지금 처음인데 와 이건 totally different.
Started opening up some pretty good sized mines. So at that point they needed a real road to get up to the mine sites. So there was a fellow back in the day by the name of Otto Mears, and Otto's the guy that built that $1 million highway. That's that crazy road from Ouray to Silverton. I don't know if you guys have been down there yet. It's a beautiful scenic drive, so while you're here, definitely do the drive from here south of town. It's one of the coolest highways.
비포장도로기 때문에 엄청난 먼지가 지금 일고 있습니다. 와, 이거 어쩔 수 없이 지금 엄청난 먼지 속을. 그나마 이제 선글라스가 있어가지고 나는 괜찮은데 지금 아유 저런 수연이는 눈을 못 뜨고 있어요.
Yeah. So when Otto Mears originally built this road, it was just a narrow wagon trail, probably about as wide as this Jeep. And when he got to this section right here, this rock wall used to come right out to the very edge. So he had to carve a tunnel through here just big enough to get the pack animals and wagons through this section. And one of the problems was not just that he had to dig a tunnel, but there was always water running down. If you look behind us, there's some kind of water running out, seeping out of the side of the mountain over here where the flowers are. Yeah. Well, down where that truck is coming up to, there's actually a culvert. There's a natural spring that pours right out of the side of the mountain over there. And so what they did back in the day was the drinking water was a good resource, and they couldn't drink the river water back then because it was so contaminated with all the mine tailings. So what they did here was they rigged up a big leather funnel under the overhang of the tunnel that was here, and then they would pull wagons underneath and they would fill up empty rain barrels. So what they did back in the day was the drinking water was a good resource, and they couldn't drink the river water back then because it was so contaminated with all the mine tailings.
그럼 자 이것이 지금 절벽 옆을 바로 지나가고 있어서 나는 지금 옆에 있는 수연이
진짜 떨어질 것 같아.
수연이 팔을 붙잡고 있고 내 팔은 지금 떨림에도 불구하고 열심히 지금 한번 절벽을 찍어보고 있습니다. 자 이것이 저 위로 올라가면 엄청난 와 이것이 지금 내가 뭘 찍고 있는지 모르는데 야 그냥 엄청난 지금 워터폴을 미싱이기 때문에 이제 그냥
I like these big rock walls. Yeah. Pretty impressive.
She's praying for safety.
She knows what she's signed up for today.
Wow. Look at this. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop right up here and get some pictures. Turn on coming up.
Wow. some people drive just passenger car here.
Just on this road,
저 조그만 집이야. 이게 올라와 있어서 여기 지금 엄청 높이 올라가는데. 오 마이.
once you get up, there's a mine up here, so they keep this road pretty good up to the mine. And then once you get beyond the mine, then it's all four-wheel drive stuff.
이게 지금 오 마이. 오 마이. 오. I can. Oh my, I can.
Don't pee on your pants.
If you look across the canyon, you'll see all those pine trees just growing right out of the rock walls up there. So what's making that possible is the San Juans are a newer mountain range. So instead of a lot of granite and hard rock, it's a lot of sandstone and shale. So in the springtime when the snow melts, instead of all just running off the mountain, a lot of it soaks into the mountain and it comes out like a natural spring like it was down by Drinking Cup. So if a pine cone or a seed gets caught on one of those little ledges up there or in a crack, there's enough mineral water seeping through the sandstone that it'll seed out, and it's soft enough that it can actually burrow the roots right into the sandstone, and the trees will grow right out of the side of the rock.
Oh, cool.
They'll grow up there, but they won't grow in my yard no matter how much I water them.
Yeah,
But they'll grow
yeah.
out of a rock up here.
Right.
And then if you look, you see the kind of horizontal scrape marks on the side of the mountain. That's from the glacier coming through. And then the vertical lines coming up and down. In the springtime when the snow melt comes, there's waterfalls all over the place up here. And the stone's kind of soft, so it kind of scores it and leaves little lines coming down where the waterfalls come over the top of the mountain. It's absolutely beautiful up here, like in May and early June. A lot of it soaks into the mountain and it comes out like a natural spring.
지금 여기는 미드 오브 거기에 우리가 지금 스톱돼 있는데, 왜냐하면 차가 지금 움직이질 않고 있어요. 근데 아무 일이 없기를. 아무래도 이거 이 아저씨가 우리를 겁내려고 약간의 그거를 한 것 같아요. 지금 아주 스무스하게 아주 스무스하게 움직이고 있어요. 그렇지. 엄청나게 진짜. 근데 이게 어느 만큼 이게 참 이렇게 힘들래나 모르겠네 이게. 이거 엄청난 장면들을 어찌
Kind of funny, each tour driver has their own little places they like to stop. We all kind of stop at different places.
Yeah. Bunch of non-sisters.
What's that?
Nuns.
Oh, those are all Amish people.
Oh, Amish.
Amish, yeah. They come out, for whatever reason, they really like it out here. They come out here all the time in the summer. Yeah, they always dress like really, the guys wear like suits and hats. Sometimes they have like top hats and stuff, and they're different. So kind of a neat spot here.
와, 이 캐년에 물 흐르는 소리가 들리시죠? 이거는 진짜 완전히 나는 와우.
And then you guys look really high up on the mountain there. You can see where a chunk of the mountain actually fell out right up towards the top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's about 10 years ago, and it came rolling down, knocked the trees down, and that really big rock on the right side here, that's the piece of the mountain. So what happens is in the springtime when the snow melts, it seeps into the mountain, and then it gets really cold at night and it refreezes, and it expands a little bit and it creates a crack. Well, it keeps doing that over and over again, and eventually it gets to a tipping point, and then the rocks will come tumbling down. And even this time of year, like on Highway 550, you'll see snow plows running up and down the highway, and it's like 80 degrees out. You're like, why are there snow plows in the summer? Well, about 3 times a day, they run snow plows up and down the highway to clear the rocks off. There's always rocks rolling off of the mountain or logs and stuff like that, so they do that to clear the highway. And if you drive Highway 550, you're going to notice there's very few guardrails, kind of like this road. They don't do it. And the road's right next to the cliff almost. It's pretty scary. And the reason they do that is mainly to scare Texans away. It doesn't really work. They keep coming anyway. But the real purpose is in the winter they get a lot of snow, they get mudslides, rock slides on the highway.
그러니까. 와, 수영 씨가 코멘트 좀 남겨주세요.
Okay, well, I don't really know what to say as of now, but I will see. We'll hear lots of stories.
I bet. 야, 여민도 한마디 좀 남겨주세요. 여민, say something.
Well, what I thought was really interesting was that, like, I think it's so fascinating, like, how all of these roads were made and the origin stories, and, like, the maintenance of it is incredible because it's not something that you think about every day, and you don't really think about how it's possible.
Right.
But it is because people have to maintain it.
Yeah, I'm very sure there's just some fishing spot too.
Life is amazing.
Already beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, scenery up there is nice. Yeah, at the lower elevations, they're starting to get some of that beetle kill that's killing some of the pine trees. But
Yeah, I saw that many trees become yellowing.
yeah, around Ouray up on the hillsides, there's quite a few. And the reason is, it's like, they get the bugs in there that kill it. And it used to get really cold here in the winter, below zero for a couple weeks at a time, and then that would kill the bugs off and stop it. Well, now with global warming, it doesn't get that cold in the winter anymore. So the trees at the lower elevations the bugs survive the winters and then move to new trees in the spring. Whereas up here, the trees are healthier because we're at a high elevation, and it gets colder in the winter, and it keeps the bugs away. These guys are going fly fishing down here in the river.
Wow.
They must have found a new honey hole. I never saw those guys here all the other years. This year they're down there all the time, so they must have found a nice little hot spot down there that they go fishing.
Wow, still people can drive the passenger car here.
Yeah, just up probably like another mile or two, and then after that it gets pretty rough, and then they don't go. Yeah, so if you take this road and keep going, it goes up to a place called Yankee Boy Basin, and there's a couple waterfalls up there. That's what people go to see. It was a really big thing, and the funny thing about it was kind of discovered by accident. It was founded by this fellow named Thomas Walsh back in 1896, and he was a really interesting character. When he was 11 years old, he was living in Ireland and became orphaned, and he really wanted to come over to the United States, but he was only 11 and he didn't have any money. So what he did is he figured out a way to sneak onto one of the freighters that was headed over to the East Coast. And then when he was on the ship on the way over, a bunch of guys who were carpenters kind of met him and took him under their wing. And then when he got to the East Coast, they taught him how to be a carpenter. And he did that on the East Coast till he was 17. And then he heard about a wagon train heading out west to South Dakota to one of the mining camps. He thought, oh, that sounds like a new adventure. I'll give that a try. So he moved out to South Dakota and he worked out.
And then die in debt. Like, you're not even dying with leftovers, you're dying in debt. And then she was an addict? Wow.
Because she didn't have anything to do. Only money. 이제 Imogene. Yeah, it's really fun. Like it. 이게 뭐라 그랬지? 이게 우리 지금 여기 야. 그러니까 이거 거의 그 뱃살이 빠지고 있는 듯한. 예, 다들 나보고 조심하라는데 뭐 그렇지. 이게 지금 백업이 되니까 구글 포로에 백업이 되면 구글 포로를 오픈하면 있겠지? 야, 여튼 뭐 했다고? 어우 맞다. 백업이 안 된다. 조심해야겠다. 바이.
Yeah, it's nice to do these trips when you come to Ouray though, because it's like you see so much more than you can see from the highways.
Yeah.
Actually, they just repaired these roads. Usually they're in a lot worse shape than this.
Worse.
Yeah. Well, these are all Forest Service roads, but they come up here with a bulldozer usually. You know, as soon as the snow starts melting, and then they plow the snow and stuff off the road and kind of repair any damage that was done over the winter by, you know, like landslides and washouts and stuff like that. And then after that, they don't really do anything the rest of the summer. It just gets more and more beat up and washed out. So by the end of the summer, it's almost impassable again. Yeah, the only time they'll come up and fix it is if something happens that completely blocks the road. And then they'll come up and repair that one place. But other than that, they don't do too much. Yeah, this trail doesn't. Some of the trails have like outhouses and bathrooms, but this one's so rough they can't get up here to maintain them, so they don't have them up here.
That's good. That's manageable.
for a place with some privacy in it.
Behind the bush, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find some bushes that are actually going to hide. A little further.
No way.
Let's see.
Whoa! Whoa!
Now they all get a pee.
Is that possible? No, you're gonna have to go to the bar behind the bush. You already peed.
Yeah, this might work over here.
Yeah.
This is kind of hidden.
Whoa! Wow!
Everybody okay? What do they call this one? This is a Gladiator, they call it. Yeah, Jeep Gladiator. But even any of the Rubicons, pretty much all the Jeeps will do that. So,
I was like, 가야 돼. 안 가야 됐는데 가야 돼 이제. 갑자기.
Imogene was Andy Richmond's wife. That was the prospector
Oh.
that helped Thomas Walsh out back then. So they named the pass after her and the waterfall. And then up ahead where that snow is on the mountain, there's a basin up there called Richmond Basin. And that's named after Andy Richmond, the prospector. So they kind of honored those guys. So he lived up here about the last 25 years of his life. He was quite the mountain man. It was pretty primitive to live up in an environment like this back in the day. Yeah, the waterfall is really nice. In the springtime when the snow melts, pouring, it just like it's all big rapids. And then right here, we're just below U.S. Mountain when we parked on the bridge and we were looking where that glacier ended. This is it right here. So that snow patch is up a little bit above, but you can see the rocks are all bigger and chunkier. But as the glacier melted out here, it just kind of left all these deposits and things kind of mixed in.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to use the restroom?
There's trees. So the trail we're going to go up is right there. We're just taking a little detour to see something back here.
Okay. Because of social media, the YouTube and the Facebook, I mean, I saw this, you know, the driving.
All the different trails you can do and stuff.
So I just want to go, let's go.
Yeah, it's a cool thing out here. So this little cabin over here, that's about $1 million house in Telluride. So Telluride's a very affluent community. It's like Aspen and Vail. It's all like billionaires and hedge fund managers and movie actors and people like that. So a little tiny house in Telluride starts at about $1 million. So it's crazy.
Mule deer. Wow.
By the tree.
This is a waterfall.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
저 앞에 워터폴인 거야. Right.
Yeah, see the guys with those ATVs, they're just going too fast. They miss all this stuff.
Yeah. I thought, you know, the Gladiator is a huge vehicle. So I think it's
long like a pick. It's longer than a normal Jeep. The bed's longer.
I think it's not that much capable than the you know, short wheel.
Shorter are better for like we're gonna be doing some tight turns.
The amusement park.
Yeah, that's fun, but that's a different fun.
But this is much better than the Six Flags.
Yeah. Well, you know, I get a lot of younger people that don't appreciate the nature, though. I mean, they sit and play. They'll sit in the back of the tour truck and they just play with their phones the whole time. They could care less about the scenery. You know, it's just like, oh, there's a dude. He's just finding out. We had my niece and nephew come into town and they're like, oh, more trees. You know, we took them out on scenic drives and up in the mountains. Oh, more trees. Can you go look at more trees? They're all bored with it. Where's the mall? When you don't have a job, you become a realtor. I'm trying to eat my breakfast.
Yeah.
You're taking pictures. Yeah, seeing the wildlife, that's like my favorite part up here.
Yeah. So this mountain is just like the inside the mountain is honeycomb.
Yeah, of all kinds of just mining tunnels. And then what would happen back in the day is the bigger mining companies would buy out the little mining companies, and then they would run spur tunnels from their operation to other operations. So like if you would drive along Highway 550, you guys should do that drive just for something to do. While you're here, just drive. You don't have to go all the way to Silverton, but just go to the top of Red Mountain Pass. That's maybe 10 miles. Just for the scenery, it's just beautiful. And there's some waterfalls and stuff. But so they would run all these different tunnels underneath between the different mine operations, and then there's a tunnel from Highway 550 that runs all the way to Telluride, 9 miles underneath the mountain. So, I mean, there's some just huge. But in the wintertime, if you would have came up here in the 1800s, you wouldn't even see anybody. It'd be like, well, nobody's up here. But there could be 5,000 miners working underneath the mountains. It was like a whole big,
Wow.
Yeah, big network down there. Hi. Yeah, they actually widened this road this winter. It used to be more narrow.
Yeah.
They came through and they chiseled off a little bit more of the rock wall here. And, there's a guy that's got an air. I was gonna say that. Back down.
Wow.
Gotta find a white spot. Wide enough for me to get by, you think? Does that look? I think so.
Yeah. Whoa.
I was a UPS driver for 27 years, so if we have to back up, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying there's an Airbnb up here a guy built up on Richmond Basin. So when they were building the place, they have to bring all the materials up. So they widened the road a little bit so they could bring up pretty big sized trucks, bringing all the materials up to the site. When we pulled in down by the mine, there's a big old army truck down there, some old with a boom on the back, and that's what they use. It's got like 8 wheels. That's what they use to come up here to get the stuff. Another bumpy stretch.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's where the Subarus turn around. Yeah, if you don't have really high clearance up here in 4-wheel drive, you can't get very far.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Even though they're having own Jeep, I don't want to risk my vehicle.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You can wreck your stuff up here. That's why I like working for the Jeep company, because I can come up in their equipment and I don't have to take mine up here and wreck it. Well, then over in Moab, they do a lot of that like slick rock climbing, where they just climb and stuff.
Yeah.
They're always rolling their Jeeps over, but it's like, who can afford to wreck it? Just wreck your vehicle like that. And they just do it for fun. They think it's all funny.
Yeah, they're destroying the vehicle too.
I know. I don't know. I work too hard. I can't afford to go wrecking my stuff. And there's like little side roads that cut off that go up into these different basins and things. You know, it's like, yeah, Telluride's a pass, so we go up over the top of Imogene Pass and come down. Most of these go up and they dead end up in like these canyons and that, so you have to go up and then come back down.
Oh my goodness. Really? Really? Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, until you get used to it, you don't know what your vehicle's really capable of.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I came up here, I always thought I was going to tip over, or I wasn't going to be able to get up the grade, but it does.
Wow.
Don't worry, we hardly ever tip over.
Wow.
Well, these things can really lean a long way. It's like you think you're going to tip over, but it's just the suspension that's leaning. It's the vehicle's not going over. We get up now, we're getting close to tree line, so we'll be up in the alpine stuff pretty soon where the trees won't grow anymore.
Yeah.
So this area up here, this is where the upper camper mine was that he originally started. I'll stop up around the bend and I'll show you around. Temperature's getting cooler up here.
Yeah.
The tires, because they driving on all this gravel, just grinds them down to nothing.
So the expensive, you know.
Yeah, expensive hobby. Oh, little squirrel. Yeah, so from here we're just gonna be in this little basin, and then we're going over the top of that. That's not the top though. That's just, we call that the false summit. It looks like the top. But if we go over that, then you drop down again, and then you go up one more big climb up to the top. Starting to get up in the snow. put the heat on. I don't know if you're off the heat on, right?
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah. No, I just don't know how to do what to do with the hands. So.
Oh, there you go. Cover your eyes. I don't know. Yeah. There's the little owl on the tree somebody carved. Yeah, on the left here, that's our Rocky Mountain wood owl.
Wow.
No, I think the bulldozer that clears the road in the spring hit the tree and it kind of made an owl shape. So somebody else with a chainsaw came up and cleaned it up a little bit. So kind of funny. Yeah, it's been here for quite a few years. Looks like people camping up here.
So if I do camp over here, do I need some kind of a what is that? The permit?
No, actually, you can camp for up to 14 days up in the national forest. No, you don't need a permit or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Usually they just require that you're off the road, just so you're not blocking traffic or anything. But if you can just tuck off in a little spot. Yeah, the wildflowers up here are just getting started, but you can just see all the different colors. You know, like all kinds of them. Yeah, in another week or two when they get bigger, this will just be carpets of flowers up here. It's really
will be
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wetter the winter we have, the better the flowers are. This winter was a little bit of a drought, but these still look pretty good up here. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, in the springtime, usually around June or whenever the snow's not too deep, they'll send a guy with a big D5 dozer up here to clear the road. And the same guy does it every year. And it's like when this is all snow covered, you can't really see where the road is. But he's been doing it for so long, he kind of knows where to go. But a couple of years ago, he had shoulder surgery and he couldn't do it. And these are all the county roads, so the county road crew is responsible to open this up. So the other guys that work that were afraid to come up here because they don't really know what they're doing. You know, because if you get too far out over the snow, you're not over the land. It can collapse and you can roll down the mountain. So they get kind of afraid.
You know, after completely covered with snow, it's gonna be
I mean,
almost impossible to see.
Yeah, so I mean. See if anybody needs a restroom break. This is the last trees. after that, you're out of luck.
You're in the tree, right?
Yeah. Well, there's trees on the other side once we come down, but it's going to be like an.
I mean, just wondering, how did the people do it 100 years ago? You know?
I know, they built these roads by hand. I mean, they're up here with picks and shovels and, you know. And then they're bringing wagons and pack animals up here. Most of these roads are like one lane, so like we have to watch, make sure nobody's coming down. Otherwise, you gotta wait for them. Yeah, he's on the left over here. These are columbine. That's the Colorado state flower up here. So just on the hillside on the left here, there's these little purple and white flowers. That's columbine. That's the Colorado state flower. The wild ones are either purple and white or they're solid white, but they sell those at the garden shops in all different colors. They're genetically modified, but the wild ones are just those two color patterns.
Up on the top here, you get 13,500 feet.
Yeah, they're
over a mile,
pretty little ones.
straight up from Ouray and vertical.
Thank you.
Sure.
Undescribable word. Just wow. Just to say it.
Well, there's like no other state in the country where you can drive up to altitudes like this. And this is like the only one. And it just amazes me that there's even roads up here at all. You wouldn't think.
So this is the famous place everybody want to have a shot, right?
Well, a lot of people pull their vehicle out onto the point out there and they'll get a picture of their vehicle. There's a big FJ Cruiser convention here every summer. It's like those Toyota FJ Cruisers. And there's like 350 of them come to town all that one week. And they drive in big groups of like 15 or 20 when they're driving the trails. But like every single one has to go pull their Jeep out there and get a picture.
Wow.
So Mom's doing with the altitude. There's a flat spot up on the corner. I'll stop there for pictures. So we're about 12,000 feet here, give or take.
Whoa.
저기를 내가 올라왔어. 우와. 그러면 이게 걸음 봐. 이게 사람들이 무너질 거라고 생각 안 하는 게 참 신기하다. 저 동네 야 진짜 이거 짱이다. 내가 여기 올라왔어. 우와. 오, 너무 멋있다. 우와. 오, 지효 감사합니다. 아이야, 아파라. 우와. 완전 이거는
Whoa, 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 whoa,
타이어가
whoa.
야, 조심해라.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
Oh yes. Yeah, take a picture.
A picture if you guys want to take a picture.
Oh yes. Yeah, take a picture.
Yeah, we're gonna go around the bend and then we're gonna lose this view for a little bit. We're gonna drop into a little bit of a basin and then we're gonna do one more big climb up to the top.
Oh really?
Make sure nobody's coming behind me.
So cool. 저기가 산 거 봐. 와, 진짜 멋있다.
Don't fall off.
와. 근데 저기 그 캠을 잘 찍고 있어?
아, 캠 계속 돌아가고 있어요.
그때. 와, 완전 혼자 내려가지고 말이야 멋있는 찍으면 되나? 와.
Thank you.
Sure.
와, 이게 진짜 와.
와우.
멋있다.
Oh, this is my lucky day.
Yeah, it's beautiful up here.
Yeah. I like it.
It is so different than anything else, you know. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I, the first time we came out here, we were in Lake City on the other side of the mountains over there, and I bought one of those like backcountry Colorado books, you know, it tells you all the trails and that. So if you go from Lake City on the highway over to Ouray, it's like 250 miles. If you go over the mountain, it's 30 miles. So I'm like, oh, we'll just take this dirt road. Well, it starts out nice and easy like the one we started on down below, and then it goes up over Engineer Pass, which is even harder than this one. And it's like I got up there and it was nice and sunny in the morning. Well, by the time we got up there in the afternoon, it was like sleeting and raining and gray and windy. And we come up over the pass and it's just like all cliffs and steep. And I hit a bump and I broke the motor mount on her Jeep. We weren't even married then. She had a Jeep, just a Cherokee, just like a station wagon. And I broke the motor mount, so the motor tilted, put the fan through the radiator. I mean, just wrecked it. And we're on top of the mountain in this storm. Well, she was so afraid, she got out and started walking down the mountain. And I'm trying to limp it down the mountain. I'm like all covered with mud tires and sliding. And they couldn't fix it in Silverton, so we had to limp it down to Durango, and we just got stranded there for like 5 days while they repaired the Jeep. And it's like that was our introduction to the area. And now 20 years later, I'm a Jeep tour driver up here. I never even knew that was a thing. It's kind of funny.
Wow.
But people were so nice to us when it happened. Like everybody was very helpful, and nobody ripped you off or anything. So it was like, you know, gave you a good feeling about the area. So we kept coming back out here, and eventually we moved here. Well, everybody out here is mostly from other places. It's like, you know, people kind of come from all over to move here. So everybody wants to make friends, and you know, because they don't know anybody. So everybody's real personable and helpful and stuff. So it's an easy place to live. Yeah, so now we're up in the Alpine, so no trees or bushes or anything. The ground's always frozen here, like maybe a foot down. It's all ice crystals. So stuff with big roots can't make it. Just like grasses and flowers and little stuff only.
It's just like Alaska, frozen land.
Yeah, the tundra. Except there, the tundra is at about sea level, and up here the tundra is at 12,000 feet. The air gets thinner up here too. There's about 20% less oxygen up here in the air than there is at sea level. So if you're doing physical stuff or running or walking or hiking, it tires you out faster because you're not getting as much oxygen. They were doing mining. This is all mining stuff right here. So they were working up this high.
probably these things have to do, once every year to-do list.
Yeah. Well, I used to do every year. I would do a 14er. That's when you. There's like there's in Colorado. There's 57 mountains over 14,000 feet. So there's a lot of clubs out there that try and climb all of them. I never wanted to do all that, but I would just come out. There's a mark. Yeah, so I used to just climb one a year just for something on my bucket list, but. After about 4 years ago, I quit doing it. It's got to be too much work for my age. It's too hard. Some of them are easy, but not easy, but they call them walk-ups, where you can actually just hike right to the top. And then there's other ones that are technical, where you need like a helmet and climbing gear and stuff like that to get up there. So.
Yeah, it's not good for the over 60.
No, I know. That's why they invented Jeeps. You come up here like this. I never knew four-wheeling was such a big hobby until I moved out here, because in Wisconsin there's really nothing. It's like Illinois. It's like, where are you gonna go, But out here, there's always
nothing to go.
Yeah, really. So
just want to see the the cornfield.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, here it's all old logging roads and old mining roads, so that they've been here forever. And then I guess Jeeping got started after World War II, because when they came back after the war, they had all those army Jeeps that they didn't know what to do with, so they kind of developed a hobby out of it. Let's use them for four-wheeling. So then that's kind of where it all started, with the four-wheeling hobby. Yeah, it's starting to get chilly.
Even though it's very rocky, this Jeep is very comfortable actually.
Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah.
People standing up there. Yeah, that's on the top of the pass.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, there were people skiing up here too. You can see the slaloms coming down the snow. People hike up there and then they ski down and somebody comes picks them up. Well, Telluride's a huge ski resort. It's really a high-end ski resort over there. So they do the heli skiing there as well, where the people get dropped off with helicopters on mountaintops. They charge like $500 a drop to drop you off there, but then you
Honey, we're doing this every year. Huh? We will doing this every year. What about it?
Oh yeah. Every year.
There's a different trail. We call it the Three Basins Trail, and it goes up to three different basins, but each one's different, and they're all really beautiful. It's like that's a little animal on the top of the hill right here.
Yeah.
Now there's a little animal to our right that's called a marmot. It looks like kind of like a woodchuck.
Over there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's taking the hard way.
Because of the
their nickname is called whistle pigs. They make a real loud whistling, chirping noise. He's looking at us. It's like, take my picture.
Whistle pig. Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm not a good whistler, but it's just a real shrill little chirp. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they hibernate in the winter.
So
my wife and I, we don't have kids, but we've been fortunate enough to be able to travel a lot in our life, and that's like one of our favorite things. Instead of buying a bunch of stuff, it's just travel's such a rewarding activity.
So when they move to the Denver,
It's gorgeous.
we're just want to drive around, so we drive all the way to what is that? The Colorado Spring, Aspen, and away to the Ouray. So we spent a lot of time to come here.
Drive it, yeah. It's, I mean, the fastest way is if you just take 285 to 50. That's the quickest way.
But just we wanted to, taste of Colorado.
Yeah, you want to see, and then like there's like Sand Dunes National Park, and then if you go to the western Colorado, it's all the red rock, and I mean it's more like Moab kind of scenery. Okay, I guess I'll go this way.
Wow.
Usually there's a way I can go up that way too, but I bottom out sometimes. In this vehicle, my truck's a little taller. This one, last time I did it, I banged the bottom pretty good, so I figure I'll give the Jeep a little break.
Really? This one?
Sure.
Wow.
Hit the bottom. It was the first year they're using these like pickup truck Jeeps, and they put the seating in the back, but I think the suspension isn't quite enough to hold it up. They have to put a little bit stronger shocks or springs back there. Otherwise, when I go over a bump like that, the back hits. But if everybody's up in the cab, then it doesn't do it. But with the weight in the back, it kind of causes that sometimes. I just kind of like to watch and see how what path people take up here, because there's different ways you can go. So he's taking the easy way. And the hard way is going up the middle. That's a pretty big pickup truck that guy's bringing up here.
Yeah. Do you think the kind of a big pickup truck can do, the Black Bear Pass?
No, they've when I first started 10 years ago doing this, they would use pickups, but the road is like deteriorated so much. So we have like a special Jeep that's more narrow, and it's got like really big tires and big lift kit. Because on that one, there's a section called the steps. So when you do Imogene, it comes off of 550, and you can drive to the top of the pass. And up to that point, you can chicken out and turn around and go back. But once you go over the top of the ridge going down, it's just a one-laner. It's super steep, and you go over a thing called the steps. We're on 3 wheels, kind of teeter-tottering down the hill. And then it's all back and turn corners and switchbacks and big drop-offs and stuff. So once you start down, you're fully committed. There's no turning around and going back. So yeah, it only goes one way down into Telluride.
Wow, to get the mountain.
Yeah, so that one's called Potosi, that big tall one in the light there. All right, so let's see what we're gonna do here. Okay, they took the easy way, but
oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Whoa! Whoa!
we took the hard way.
Okay. You exercise my heart beating rate. Whoa! Oh no!
Making our own,
no!
Making our own trail.
Whoa!
Hang on.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow, look at the mountain, the color! You don't need the bush anymore, right?
Yeah, it just go right in your pants. Not dressed very warm for being up on the top of a mountain. These guys come up. Yeah, in July and August, like when things get really busy, it'll just be traffic. There'll be like 100 vehicles parked up here. It's just crazy. Yeah, you'd think this would be kind of scary and not that many people would do it, but it's pretty popular. Traffic jam going on here, actually.
Even on the higher on the mountain.
Yeah, well, the road across right over here is a one-laner, so you have to wait your turn for come by. Okay. I'm gone. Like our side, we do tours. We usually go up to the top and back. That's a typical tour, usually 4 hours or something. And then Telluride, they have their own tour companies, and they go up their side to the top and then turn around and go back. That's their typical.
So the people this vehicle came from the Telluride, I think.
Yeah, well, these are our company. So these guys, those that Amish group with all the wearing the black clothes when we came up. That's them. So and then the yellow truck and some of those other ones, those are coming from the other side. Those are coming out of Telluride.
So they decide to coming back, or?
Yeah, well, this tour they're just doing the up and back tour. This group. You know. Usually we don't do the whole over. I mean, but. And some people want to see more, so we'll go like what you guys are doing. But most people are just up and back. That's a typical tour. Getting busy up here. Yeah, a little traffic jams. Hey guys. Hey guys. Are you guys going across or no?
We're going to go to Telluride.
Oh, okay, we're on our way. Do you want to go first or?
No, we'll wait for my son.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Those things drive a little faster, so I just let them go. Yeah, I'm gonna go back up.
I'll take it.
The views on this side are even more spectacular.
I mean, I saw the YouTube, and the Imogene Pass is more scenery.
Yeah,
But I want a little bit, thrilled.
yeah. Well, this side's got some rocky. Well, this side's got some. This side's got a lot of drop-offs. The top part's a little sketchy, and then when we get further down, then there's all kinds of big drop-offs and stuff. So it's kind of the.
This is great.
So, yeah.
This is great.
This is one of the harder trails. I mean, there's Black Bear is like the hardest, and then there's one called Poughkeepsie Trail. That's over in the Red Mountains on the cross side there, and that one. It's just a rough trail, but there's one section where there's like a 60-foot wall that's really steep, and a lot of the guys with the rock climber jeeps like to climb the wall, and they roll them over. So that one's a class 5 because of that. So it's like when we're over there, we'll watch. We just park at the bottom and watch people wreck their stuff. I can't afford to wreck my stuff, so I don't do it. But so this is Imogene Pass.
Yeah, this is
welcome to the top of the world.
Whoa!
Hey.
Wow, that's Telluride, right?
Yeah, that's Telluride's airport. The actual town of Telluride is behind the ridge. We'll see it as we're going down. We're going to drive right into Telluride. But
Wow, this is unbelievable.
well, this that you can drive up here is just amazing. You know?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like It's the road. And let's see, is there a weight bite on there? Okay. Fair enough. Those are tailings ponds. It's the water that runs out of the mine, and it's all contaminated with heavy metals.
Somebody's coming.
Oh, right on, buddy. I don't know if the women were married to the miners, they could go, they could continue on. But they basically didn't want brothels and whorehouses and stuff up in the mining camps, so they wouldn't allow women past this point if they weren't married to one of the miners. So that was the society tunnel. Yeah, I'll stop up here and you can get some pictures.
Tide!